Zed-voices of the Youths podcast, a podcast that amplifies.
I didn't do anything. No, I mean, what was I supposed? I felt like so powerless in the situation, because I thought at least maybe the people that were my friends
actually hurt me.
Yeah.
Like the whole gap year thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was still in my mind.
Ati parauka tatu kaleshe mu youth. Ukaleshe mu youth. Parauka sister ukaleshe mu youth. Ukaleshe mu youth. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Ungangale ndiwe kemba. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Olowenza vibala. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Nabonse bama business. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Naima mu ma offices pushing my dreams. My dreams.
What's up, what's good and what's bad, ladies and gents? Welcome back to Zed-voices of the Youths, a podcast that amplifies with me, Tisro, Izibika Kutara Project, and thank you very much for coming through once again. If this is the first time that you're joining us, make sure that you subscribe as well so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that we post. Back again with another video, and before I go any further, we are by Handy Spice Restaurant. It's just along Makishi Road, so make sure that you do check them out as well. They've got great food, good food. So today we're talking about something that is very important, social anxiety. That's what we're talking about, guys, and I'm joined by two beautiful ladies in the building. Building, yeah. So I'll just allow them to introduce themselves. Who do we have here? Oh, Zipora. Anyway,
What? You want me to say my full name?
No, not even your full name. I thought you gave me a different name. Your full name. So first, you gave me a stranger's name.
No, they're my names.
I see.
I can say my name. Lisa Mwewa Zipora Mbula. Yeah.
See, but that name reminds me of. Anyway, this other side. Mono Lisa. I almost said Mona Lisa. You know that song? Yeah, Mona Lisa. Yeah, Mono Lisa. Okay, cool stuff. Nice to meet you guys. And welcome to Zed-voices of the Youths. Let's just have it. Let's talk about it. Let's have that discussion. So before we get into the discussion, there's one question that I like to find out. This is the last time we're asking this question. Next time is Achinda. Money or love? You can hold it.
That's a good question.
Money or love?
Money or love? Yeah.
Lisa?
It's both an answer.
No. Oh.
Bro.
It's you or it. This or that. Not and. Think.
Hey, there's no right answer to this question.
Yeah, there's no wrong and
You have your answer. You can start.
there's no wrong and there's no right.
Money.
Okay.
Money. Guys, get the bag.
Yeah, get the bag. Okay. Who's the up man? I think you're gonna zingat 3 now.
Okay.
Love.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Did I just give you Kadikit?
Yes, it is.
No. And I've done this episode. But yeah, anyway, why money? Why in drama? Share with us why money.
I don't know. Money can give you happiness. Love, it can, but
Just put it close,
Like-
close.
money can give you happiness, yeah.
Mhm.
Love, when you get your heart broken,
Mm.
it's not a nice thing, guys. Like, ish.
So you're
Have
afraid
you?
of heartbreaks.
Yes, I'm very afraid of heartbreaks. That's
why
why,
you're going to know.
yes, that's why I've gone to money.
So if you never experienced any heartbreaks, you're going to love.
No, money.
Okay, I see. How about you?
I'm gonna have to say love.
After your boyfriend can see this.
Hey. It's not about
Yeah.
No,
No, you chose money. What I mean?
I can choose money if I wanted to choose money.
Okay, but why have you
But
chosen love?
but I feel like love is such a beautiful thing, and you know the way she's saying that. Oh no, if I hadn't gone through a heartbreak, I wouldn't choose. I don't know what she said, but she said yeah. So I've gone through heartbreaks, yeah, and I feel like love is such a beautiful thing. Like regardless of whether or not you can get hurt, because at least you get to experience the feeling of like love. And love, when you say love, you don't mean just like oh romantic love. There's love in like many aspects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So love
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
But even if it's in many different
aspects.
forms.
You're talking about romantic love.
Mm.
I'm still choosing love, bro.
Are you sure I don't want money? You?
I do want money, and you can get money while you're in love. But for
No,
this,
but
for this
You can
specific
get love
scenario,
when you have money. A lot
Yes.
of love, actually. When you have
True.
That's when you're broke. You don't have anything. You think you can get love? In chat with
Yeah.
out.
yes.
I mean, that's cool. Anyways,
Yeah.
that was just a commercial break, guys. There we have it: love and money. And this much are opposite. I'm quiet. So now we can get into our topic. So, social anxiety, guys. I think just to start, let's try to find what is social anxiety. Some of us that do not know. Social anxiety is what kind of animal?
What kind of animal?
I'm quiet. Anyone can start. Feel free.
I feel like social anxiety is just like when to generalize it very much is to say like when you're afraid of being in social situations. Yeah, like you can't speak up, for example, in class. You don't like being in crowds because it makes you nervous. Things like that. Mm.
Who's start?
I'm getting PTSD from what you're saying.
Muize. Yeah, in your own words.
Whatever she said.
What did she
Like,
say?
being afraid of social situations, like even the examples that she gave, that's a lot of stuff that I've been experiencing myself. Yeah. I have a lot of experiences. They're actually bad.
Yeah,
Very, very bad.
Give us one.
Like, a lot of my friends will know. I don't leave the house, yeah. I don't leave the house at all. Like, even when my parents would ask me, no, let's go out, I would refuse all the time because, like, I'm afraid of people, like, very much. Nowadays, not as much because, like, I'm in uni, I'm socializing, I'm getting to know people. But back then, I would never leave the house. If you wanted to see me, you'd have to follow me.
Look a video for that.
Eh,
That one is also waste.
eh,
Yeah, but why are you afraid of? Why were you afraid?
That's the thing. I have no idea why I was afraid of people.
Just know that I'm afraid of.
Yes, I always thought that they were watching me. That's the thing.
You thought that they were watching you. Were you
Yes.
doing something illegal? Maybe?
No, not exactly. Like I don't know. I was just afraid. Yes.
Okay. I mean, you can get to you also. Do you have any experience that you might share?
Too many.
How many?
It's not
Give us one.
even. I give you one. Let
Yeah,
me
just
think
that,
of a proper example because
Yeah,
stories I have.
and we like stories.
How traumatized you.
No, you can try me.
I can try you. I don't. For me, it wasn't really like I was scared of people. More like I was scared of rejection. Because, like from a young age, obviously it's kind of different now because I feel like I've grown into myself more, and I know like more stuff about myself, and I kind of know who I am and who I want to be as a person. But when I was younger, I wanted to be accepted. I didn't even know. I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want anything. I wanted to be part of the crowd. If anything, I wanted to be behind the crowd. I didn't want to be inside it. I just wanted people to look at me and be like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't want to be a big deal. But then the problem with that is everything that I wanted to be, I wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like literally the opposite of what was like socially accepted in my environment at the time. So, like, for example, when I was in high school, yeah, I had problems finding like real proper friends because let me say grade 8, like grade 8 to 9, I had started. I went back to my old school because I've been at one school my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Life you're going
Mm.
up to today.
Necessary to grade 12.
Oh,
The rest.
one teacher throughout.
No, not
Oh,
one
no,
teacher,
teachers
but I knew
just
I
changing.
knew almost everyone
Yeah,
there.
but,
They even know me.
even
If
the
I,
school
for
knows
me
you.
to go there today, they can even start hugging
I'm
me.
sure they can even give you a
Yeah.
Okay.
If I really wanted to, I feel like I would go back. But
Anyway, back to the
yeah.
story.
So in like grade 8, grade 9, I had just gone back to my school, and there was two classes. There was A and B, right? And all my friends were in A. So even when I went, I didn't want to go to a boarding school. That's like one of the major reasons I went back to that school. So when I went, I saw that all my friends, like my old friends from primary, were in A, and I was like, that's where I want to go. Then they put me in B.
New one, man.
I was like, wow, what am I gonna do here? So at first I never really used to talk to people because I was like the definition of socially awkward. So I never really used to talk to people. And then at like break and lunch, I'll go hang out with my friends. So I tried to like branch out at first. I started making friends with people because it's not that I can't be social. I can. I think I'm actually very social. I'm like an extroverted introvert.
Lukewarm.
Yeah.
Pakati.
Mm.
Just talk, I can do both.
Yeah. So at that time, see, I would make this friend group. And the thing is people are not good people. I'll make this friend group, and I was friends with like a lot of people, like people from my primary school. So I knew them, and we knew each other. So everything, like I knew everyone in the class, even though we weren't really that close. So I would join a friend group, and we would become friends. But then one thing about me is when I was young, I was famous. I didn't want that's not even the word. And I wasn't even famous in the nice way. Yeah. No.
Famous in what?
Hear me out.
You started at very early ages.
Yeah, no, it's like people like to start rumors about me. Yeah, like all sorts of any rumor that you can think of. Even if you say something random, I promise you, someone has said it about me before.
Why?
I don't. That's one thing
give
I've
those
never.
vibes.
I don't. What vibes? I just used to sit on a desk, and if I'm not learning, I'm reading my book. So I don't know. I guess some people were offended that I didn't mind being alone or something. I don't know.
Such thing.
Yeah. So it's like I'll get into this friend group, right? And then I'll be friends with them, and then I'm friends with the guys. I was friends with a lot of guys when I was younger because I have brothers. I don't have sisters. So
that's why.
I know how to relate to guys, and I can hang out with them. It's easy. Right? So I talked to a lot of guys in the school, but that comes with a lot.
That comes with a lot of
Yeah, because if your friend has a crush on this guy and they're struggling to talk to him, but when you talk to the person and it's like, it's
quite
nothing.
easy.
Yeah.
Like,
So then everyone hates you now.
yeah.
Because in high school that's like proper cause to hate someone.
True. And there's no such a thing as best friend.
Yeah.
You can't be friends.
Yeah, so it's like that. My friend, I'll be talking to
But
my
you,
friends.
was it really just strictly business?
What do you
Friendship?
mean? Was it really
You talked to
strictly
a lot
business?
of guys. Was
Yeah,
it just,
for most
strictly
of them.
friends,
Yeah,
or
when I was in.
or mwenzo chako na one or two things?
Listen, it's very embarrassing to say, although I'm not embarrassed anymore. I used to be, but for the most of the formative years of my life, I only liked one person. So I can't even tell you that it was romantic here and there. I only like one person. Obviously, I don't talk to them anymore. They
But why
finished.
didn't you tell them
What do you mean?
that I like you?
Oh no, I did. That's a
Did.
different story.
Oh,
That's not
but you were
what
the first one to tell.
that's not what we're talking about.
Just yet, as a female, you can't start things. But I mean, there's that one.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
stigma. No,
So
you
how true
can
is
start
that?
things. I feel like you can start things.
I've always started things.
Always started things.
Always like if I like someone,
Yeah.
I'll approach them. I'll tell them, basically.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, you have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
Let them that's all.
that's all.
Dignity. Respect as a female, because I hear this a lot of times. Like, I know you can't start things as a female because men are the ones that are supposed to chase things. You know what I mean?
Or like men are supposed to
like
chase you
this.
and you're supposed to attract.
So why are you starting?
I was going to say something, but it
No,
will
just say
offend a
it.
lot of
No, just say it.
Say,
You want
bro.
facts? Yeah.
facts.
Oh, simple.
Yeah. So on what you said, I feel like especially now, nowadays in this generation, my generation especially, the boys have become the girls.
I
And
agree
the
with you
girls are the
completely.
boys.
Okay.
Yes.
Boys want to be chased. Boys want to be bought flowers. Men, they are the princesses.
Okay.
And apparently we are supposed to be the men.
I see.
And
You
that's
agree?
I agree so much. You just have no idea.
Yeah, but what do you think is making us? Why
I
would we
don't
change?
know what happened to you guys, man. To
Yeah,
be
man.
honest.
Okay, let me give you this.
Mm.
So for me, I feel like maybe it's just a way of showing love. Maybe you just don't show, because you hear things like chocolate isn't supposed to be like a guy can't eat chocolate, for example. The only time you eat, maybe someone has bought it for you, or no, you bought it for yourself. Such things. So it's now a way of saying we also need to be appreciated. Doesn't mean you coming to me or approaching me, but in any other way, because it's like we've made it so much about men. No, men should do this. No, Chan, going out, the guy should be there. Valentine's Day, it's for women now. Maholi dinner, your Women's Day, Chinese Day, Kripiko Guys Day. What are we going to do also? You know what I mean? So like, I think, in the simplest maybe opinion, I think that's what I guess. Something like that. Yeah, but when we take it back to, I think also it's about connection with the person. You know what I mean? Like, I hear girls can't approach someone, but if honestly you like the guy, my zero. I don't think it's wrong just going like, oh hi. I think you are cool, you're chilled. What bunch? Can I take you out? Yeah, but like you've asked someone before. Yeah.
Not ask them out. I actually have asked someone out before.
Okay. How did you take us through that scene?
There was this one. Obviously, he said no, but that's the thing. At the end, the worst thing they can say is no. And what's no, guys? It's just the word. There was this guy that I like this guy at this cafe where I used to work. Then he worked. This man. I'm not even describing.
Okay, but I know it's true. Your store.
Your store, kind of question. I'm not gonna. No comments. No comments.
So anyway, there's real men swing action.
So it's that thing where one day I just saw him and I was like, okay. So the first day I met him, I didn't speak to him because we just went into his store with my brother, and my brother was asking about some stuff, and then then the next day I went and I told him, I was like, hi, I asked his name and I told him I think he's attractive and I asked for his number. Then he gave me. Yeah, it's literally that easy. And every time I tell this story, people will be like, you did
that. Why? As a
how?
Because also they say if at all maybe it breaks your heart, you'll be like, no, you are the one who came to me.
What do you mean?
At females are scared of asking guys out because they think during that time I might say you are the one who followed me.
So real.
But that doesn't make sense because that can happen to anyone. Even if I was to approach you and you accept me, you can't tell me that you are going to tell me at the first one that approached you. So this has happened.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. But anyway, from what you had mentioned about social anxiety, when you're talking about your experience, you mentioned something like acceptance. Wanting to be accepted by a group or those people.
Yeah.
And I would like to find why do you want to be accepted?
Why did I want to be accepted?
Why did you want to be
thank
accepted?
you for phrasing it
Deep,
right.
guys.
Yes.
Not anymore.
Why? I mean, I genuinely don't know how to answer the question. I don't know. I guess I kind of felt like I had to fit in. Otherwise, I was doing something wrong.
You had to fit in. Cool. And how about you? The same question.
The same one. Not that I wanted to fit in or anything. I was just afraid of being judged.
Okay. Judgment, fit in. Cool. I like this. Let me even have the mic.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, because I say this because these two important words when it comes to social anxiety: judgment and fitting in. Because because of what I wanted to, it's just that I don't know how to put this, but you know, there are certain things that have been put or said to be, I don't know if it's a standard or yeah, but you know those groups that maybe do certain things a certain way. You know what I mean? So for you to be part of them, you have to do what they do. You know what I mean? Because they've made it like it's a normal thing now. That's a standard. That's how you're supposed to behave. That's how you're supposed to be. If you don't do that, then you're not going to be considered, and maybe you might even be judged. You know, if you don't fit in. So now maybe that's why we try to fit in. But why should a person now want to fit in? Really? Why should you want to fit in? Those maybe norms or ways of living.
I don't think you want to fit in.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't. I used to want to fit in. That's what I keep trying to say. Yeah, is that longer? Like before, I did want to fit in so bad. I promise you, I'd have given you anything for me to be like part of the crowd. But now I've reached a point where I don't really care about what people have to say about me and like all the stuff I do. I've embraced who I am as a person. Yeah, and I feel like that's much better because no matter what you do or what you say or how you act, people are going to say something.
People are going to talk.
So
Valaranda.
you can spend your whole life trying to fit in and they're still going to talk about you. Or you can do what you want and live how you want to live. And they're still going to talk about you regardless. So you might as well do the thing that makes you happy.
Show stuff. They don't feed you.
Real, do it at your place.
Hey, they don't feed you. Yeah.
With the whole fitting in thing,
Mm.
I also did want to, like, don't get me wrong. I
Mm.
see those girls, they're out there in the world,
Kuchado.
having fun.
Livingstone.
Yeah, Livingstone. Yeah, I did want to, but at some point I was like, I knew that I'm not gonna manage this. So that's why I used to isolate myself a lot, and just try and avoid them as much as possible. Because like,
Yeah, because I feel one one reason why we want to fit in is maybe judgment, like you had said. You know, because you fear you'll be judged to say, look at how that one lives his life. You might say, right? You know, they don't go out. You know, he doesn't do this and that. You know, I'm sure his life is boring. You know, such things. And maybe you feel, nani kuchini like I'm a normal person now. You know, I have to drink some, maybe I have to go out, I have to do these things, I have to take pictures when I'm in Livingstone, things like that. Maybe that's why people get to fit in now or want to fit in certain types of groups. So, my man, judgment. Do you have any scenarios or experiences regarding judgment? Being judged? Were you judged at any point in your life? I'm quiet.
Lisa, you have lots of stories for us.
Hey, storyteller. I'm quiet.
So let me tell you, one time in high school, a lot of my very like traumatic stories, low-key, were from high school. That was when I went through a lot. Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
So one time in high school, it's the same thing that I told you, like, I was friends with the guys and blah blah blah. So there was this one guy that I started talking to, and I really liked the guy, and the guy liked me. But then it was at that point where my friend group at the time, horrible friends. Yeah, my friend group at the time had like sort of shunned me because they would do this thing where every time they hear something about it, like they hear something about your friend, you go to your friend and ask them like, I heard this was being said about you, but they never used to do that. So every time someone said something about me and they heard it, they would take it as low and be like, this girl is horrible, and then they'll shun me. Yeah, and then one day they'll just decide to start talking to me again. So it was like that. It was at the point where they shunned me. And, I used to talk to this guy. And I really liked him, I even got to a point where I was like used to it because, these people used to do all these things. So at some point, it just used to pass me. But, I started talking to this guy. And one day we're hanging out. And, I stopped hanging out with the girls because they're the ones that used to do the stuff to me, yeah. So it's usually like I was friends with the guys. So there was this one day where I was seated by myself on my desk because I never sat with anyone. I was reading my book. I was just just enjoying my life, and then yeah. And then these guys, like, my friends, because I told you I was friends with the guys, they would come to talk to me, like, oh, one will come sit with me, and then they would talk to me, another one will come sit with me, and then they'll talk to me, and it was like that. It made people angry. So you know what happened that very day. It's very hard to talk about. So you know what happened that same day, yeah. There was a time, and the thing is, even people I thought that people I thought were my friends did the same thing. So there was this time, because I've told you already, the guys and the whatnot and the everything. So I'm sitting, yeah, and then these girls, the same girls that were my friends, decide to come attack me. And they surround me and they start saying like, same. They attack me and I never used to speak out. So I'm just there. I'm just like,
guys surrounded.
I'm just sitting. I don't even know where they came from. Yeah, they start surrounding me and they say like a whole bunch of mean stuff to me. And because I started talking to the guys, they would call me like, "Oh no, she's a whore." Yeah, she talks a lot. She's a whore. So this particular day, one of them even starts shout. The whole class was chanting. Hey, listen! Someone shouts, "Was a whore?" Then they shout, "Lisa!" Hey,
That was crazy.
yeah.
You did.
I didn't do
You
anything.
didn't even report. Maybe could have been
No, I mean, what was I supposed? I felt like so powerless in the situation, because I thought at least maybe the people that were my friends were going to like, say something or like try to stop it, but they're the ones that were leading the thing. I was like, oh, okay.
What's up? Now you
Yeah.
can see the true color.
Yeah, so I feel like from there I sort of isolated myself from those people. Like I even stopped hanging out with them and all that. Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine and I can feel what you felt because I can see even in your eyes right now what's going on. But yeah, I mean, it's good that you moved away from
Yeah.
These are real stuff.
Yeah.
That actually.
But I feel like these are experiences that people have to. I'm not saying that should happen to anyone. Yeah. Like I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But I feel like if I never experienced the horrible friendships and things that I did then I wouldn't know what it feels like to have like real friends. Because the friends I have now, everything, they're just wonderful, like my best friend and everything. I don't think I could have I prayed for friendships like the ones I have now. Yeah.
I mean, God doesn't give you things you can't bear. And sometimes it just gives us opportunities to see things. Yeah. Yeah. So, Ish, Mona Lisa, share some experience.
I'm
Judge,
being
why
too
you
quiet,
judge
yeah.
Hey, Shani, what did you judge? No.
I don't. Okay, I wasn't really judged. Yeah. Okay, maybe I was. Okay, I was at an all girls high school. So
Banana.
yeah. So like at the school, I never used to like talk to a lot of people since I'm like quiet, keep myself, at the corner. Yeah, reading. I only had like a few friends.
Yeah.
So there was this one time in high school, 12th grade, end of the year. We did this thing where like we were voting and no, who's most likely to do this or I can you know where I'm going with this, yeah. So like me, I was the quiet person. Like I tried putting myself out there. Oh my days. I tried putting myself out there and like it's about to cry.
Guys, hold it.
No,
Hold it.
I can do this.
Okay.
I tried putting myself out there like a few times in class and everyone's being social, I would join in.
Yeah.
So there was this one time we voted, and it was like attention seeker. And like I was nominated, I was shocked. And yeah, I got voted for attention seeker. And like it actually hurt me.
Yeah.
Like the whole gap year thing, yeah, it was still in my mind like the whole time. So even then I never used to like go out or talk to anyone just because of that. Like just putting myself out there, I got scared. Nowadays, like
No, but that's crazy. Attention seeker. That's crazy. And maybe You even know that that's very, very false. You only spend time with books, and then they tell you you're trying to seek attention.
Imagine.
That's crazy, yeah. But no, these are real things when it comes to judgment. Because I think also me, I've got an experience, but that was in uni, yeah. So because kind of some of us we were a bit crazy. Yeah, we would do so many things. Maybe okay, just branding, threads, all sorts of things, and yeah. So I got word around. Is that I know guys who just it doesn't listen. You know what they mean when they say you don't listen? Yeah, it doesn't listen. He's a player, things like that. So I got this from people that I've never even talked to. Is that you are just a first year, and then people that are telling you my second, third, this. I'm like, I've never even interacted with you before, things like that. So, but then there was this girl that had, after having an interaction, and then she had told me to say, you know what? Me actually thought you were this, but you're not even that. Things like that. So from there, I think I'd even realized to say, people say things anyhow, like you said. People just talk, even if they don't even know. This person is like this, minus knowing, and that affects also like a lot about yourself and the people that will hear that. Because are those people that will just hear something about you and immediately they think that's the truth without even asking consultation or anything. But they don't even know that that's actually true. Things like that. So I think as people say, I think it's you don't say things minus knowing the actual truth. So lastly, I think talking about self-esteem and just the well-being of a person, how I think let's focus on how you manage to deal with social anxiety. At what point maybe did you realize to say, maybe for example, you never used to hang out with people, you never used to do certain activities, but you thought, I want to use the word. You saw it coming, yeah? I wanted to use the word because it fits the sentence. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? Hey, Johnny, this. Let me do this now. I want to do this. Yeah, but at what point?
So listen, last year I started working at this cafe because I was taking a gap year. I didn't want to go to school, so I found this cafe at Ceremonial, my house, and it was really nice. And then I was,
conversations irrelevant na mpamvu we cement angoze baimvera bafana bakulu na ankoze